Are you looking to build a career in the telecom industry? Have you wondered what are the roles and departments that exist within a typical telecom services firm? In this episode, we're going to be going deeper into this very subject area. Welcome to the Zista Podcast, where we invite industry leaders and academicians to answer questions that students have within a specific subject area. Joining us today is Prateek Pashine. He's a business leader with experience in both B2C and B2B businesses. He's worked across different industry verticals. Prateek is a Fulbright scholar, and he's worked with brands like Lucent Technologies, Taj Hotels, Tata Tele Business Services, and Tata Communications. Currently, he's the president of the enterprise business at Jio, India's largest telecom firm. Prateek is passionate about digital transformation, 5G technology, and smart classrooms. He's also a board member of the WiMAX Forum and the Wireless Broadband Alliance, and he's highly respected by his colleagues and peers. Welcome to the show, Prateek. We're delighted to have you with us here today. I'd like to extend a warm welcome from the Zista team to you.
Thanks, Amit. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. I thought we'd start by asking you something very basic. Could you tell us about the different departments within a telecom company?
Sure. So I will describe a telecom services company because there are two kinds of companies, one which are in the business of supplying equipment and services, and the other which are in the business of providing telecom services to end customers.
Right.
So see, there are departments and there are business units, right? So a full-fledged telecom operator which caters to both mobile services and landline services and IoT and cloud services typically have business-facing units or segment-facing units. So say there's a consumer business and there's a B2 or B2C business and a B2B business. So there are then businesses that are there which manage that particular customer segment.
Right.
It all starts with network. So somebody has to design the network. So there's a network design team. And somebody has to do the deployment of the network. So there's a deployment team.
Right.
So think of it as there is an architect who is designing the house, but architect does not construct the house. There's a construction team. So there's a network design team, a network deployment team, and then a network operations team.
Perfect.
So, and network operations team is the team which then runs with it, which is what you call as operator maintenance, right? So those are the departments in a network organization. Now, we talked of network, we talked of business. To enable the business to leverage network, you have a few functions, what are in telecom terms called OSS and BSS, Operation Support System and Business Support System, which means when a customer wants to buy a new SIM, how does the order entry happen? Which system, which platform do you enter the order? How would the provisioning happen so that the SIM becomes active? How does the billing happen so that the SIM is charged basis usage or basis the plan? So that is what we call as OSS in the BSS system, which makes the services work, and a system or a platform which enables that. So that's a big piece of telecom because if you're going to manage millions of customers, you can't do it on a paper pencil or an Excel. You need a system that does the whole life cycle of, think of it as onboarding to provisioning to first time activation to billing to driving usage and retentions to termination of the customer when he decides to leave. That entire services have to be orchestrated on a platform. So that's one of the critical hearts of a telecom services, which is what is called as a OSS and a BSS, Operation Support and Business Support Systems. In the business, obviously, there are departments, which is your conventional, say, marketing organization, which will do demand generation, lead generation, segmentation. There is a sales organization, a distribution organization, which again can have outreach, as in sales guys calling, doing a door call, door knock, or retail showrooms where customers can walk in and buy the services, or digital sales or a tele engine setup where customers are called basis a database, basis their interest. So those are the lead gen and the sales part of the organization. You obviously have to support customers once they are onboarded, or even before they are onboarded, and ask for a SIM, but it has not got delivered, or I ask for a fiber connection and nobody has come. So there is a customer service team which manages the life cycle of the customer, and basically customer service is the cost of non-compliance. If everything were to go as it's designed, then you won't need a customer service team, right? Now, enabling all of these, since we manage huge amount of database, you need programmatic, algorithmic rule engine for both customer support as well as lead gen, saying, okay, if this customer has not used the service for the last 10 days, there must be something wrong. Can you check the network, whether the network is an issue? Can you check whether he's disinterested? Or so there's the in a new age company, whether it is you're in insurance or in telecom, you would see that. And since telecom is a daily product, usage product, every usage or non-usage is putting an imprint on a customer behavior or a usage pattern. So mining the data is another organization which looks at how do I manage the life cycle of a customer. So broadly, there's a network piece, design, deploy, and operate. You have the systems and platforms piece, which enables the entire life cycle. You have a sales organization and the marketing organization, which would do customer outreach in various formats. You obviously have regulatory because this is a regulatory service. What can you do? What can you not? What are the compliances? So there's a regulatory and compliance organization. Besides, obviously, the HR and finance and infrastructure and real estate operations. So then that broadly would be the departments in a telecom service.
Thank you for giving us a really holistic view, and I think your insights are very unique because you've actually had a chance to work in a consumer-facing business. You've had a chance to serve small and medium enterprise customers, and now you are, heading the enterprise business at Jio. So you've actually been exposed to all the different customer segments that are there in the for telecom services firm, and that's pretty amazing. I was hoping to go a little deeper and talk a little bit about skills and maybe so say if I'm a student, I want to join the telecom industry, right? What are the kinds of backgrounds from where students actually coming or candidates are coming from to join telecom firms? So you've obviously laid out different departments, but I was hoping you could maybe touch upon that as well.
See, I'm a big believer in fungible skills. Okay, I don't believe that you have to be doing or you have to have done a particular discipline for X number of years for you to do well in that particular field. Lot of skills, lot of capabilities are fungible. Okay, for example, selling a telecom service is similar to selling a credit card service. You deal with lots of customers. You have to find out who the right customer is for a postpaid or a prepaid. Similarly, a credit card or a debit card. How you have this typical, you figure out what footfall locations customers visit. So, lot of skills across functions. If you have to do data analysis of saying who's using whatever, the same credit card usage pattern, here it's a telecom usage pattern. So, right. I don't believe that there needs to be a specialist to be in telecom services. I'll give a caveat, which is getting into the technology part of it, where skills are required, and you need to understand how the various elements work, especially if you are in network design. You're an architect, right? So you would need understanding of telecom, networking, and so on. But if there's a student who's a fresher who's looking at this, sorry, but nothing that you learn in college prepares you to do work in a telecom organization or because there's a lot of theory that you learn, practical knowledge is different. So I I would not have an issue recruiting a chemical engineer for network design, as I would recruit a telecom engineer. Yes, a telecom engineer would come with some skill set, some understanding framework, but a lot of what we do at work is what we learn at work.
Right.
And any which way I learn, what I learned today is outdated tomorrow. So how does it even matter what I learned in engineering? Because that's going to be soon outdated. And I think that's the key problem that students should look at. I don't think the education in the form and manner that we had pre-internet era works anymore. It has to be a continuous learning because the technology, and especially in this space, technology, cloud, AI, robotics, the technology is changing at such a rapid pace that just what you knew 6 months back is no longer, what should I say, cutting edge. So this is about continuous learning, and there's nothing which teaches you continuous learning. That is a job. I mean, yes, you have to have a mindset for it. You have to, what I call as the kira, to learn something new every day and understand the ramifications of technologies around you. But I think, see, if you're looking at engineering roles, I believe engineering doesn't teach you a particular subject or a discipline of chemical engineering or mechanical engineering or electronics engineering. It tells you how to approach a problem and how to solve a problem.
Right. At a very broad level.
Yeah, at a core skill, it tells you how to look at a problem, how to break down the problem into multiple pieces, and then how to solve that. That's what engineering degree equips you with. And that is a fungible skill that you can apply to any problem. So hence, as I said, my network counterparts might not agree with me, but I think if you have that mindset of problem solving, of gives and takes, benefits versus costs, these standard rules and principles can be applied to any industry and any role.
That's really interesting. And one key takeaway for me is that you need to have the right mindset, the right attitude, have an attitude to keep learning, because that is what drives you to, stay on top of all the trends, but also be willing to, in some cases, unlearn something that you know and relearn. So it's not just learning, but also that be willing to reinvent yourself with unlearning and relearning, and in the course of our careers, I'd be fortunate to work in telecom, also see you in action very closely. So I've seen, you yourself having unlearned and relearned things as you have progressed in your career. So that's really amazing. See, I've always felt that the telecom industry is really dynamic, and it continues to change rapidly. And I was going to ask you, is there something that students can do to prepare for the future? What changes do you foresee coming our way?
Well, see, I don't want to crystal gaze here. Things are going to change. Yeah, boundaries of technology and IT are blurring. So, telecom companies today also do cloud. Telecom companies today do also software as a service. So, the lines are clearly blurring, especially at the fringes. So, I would just say that if you are interested in a telecom company, just know everything that has to do with telecom and technology. Know about robotics, know about generative AI, know about Internet of Things, know about blockchain. All of these, and somebody will say, oh, by the way, blockchain is for financial industry. No, not true. Yes, a lot of applications are in the financial industry, but a country called Sierra Leone in Western Africa conducted their first elections using a blockchain platform.
Amazing.
So often I see, and that thing has been my experience, is people and kids and students and professionals put a boundary wall around what is relevant for me and what is not. And I think that is the biggest problem, because if you say, oh, blockchain is not for me, oh, if you say robotics, that's out of syllabus for me. I think the getting comfortable with that there's nothing out of syllabus is the biggest switch that from a student life you have to do. Saying, "Arey, ye to syllabus mein nahi hai." So, everything's in the syllabus, boss. Um, and application of what you learn in some other aspect has usage in so many other. For example, we often talk of this example, right? That we would have got stuck with sans serif font of MS-DOS had it not been for the calligraphy courses that Steve Jobs did. When he was removed from Apple and he went and did the calligraphy course, or whenever he did the calligraphy course, and he introduced the concept of fonts. Now, somebody would say, yeah, calligraphy or isme, what is even that is out of syllabus for somebody who's focusing on computer science. But we know what fonts are thanks to Steve Jobs and his calligraphy classes. So nothing's out of syllabus, as I very strongly believe in. So, boss, absorb, be a sponge.
I was going to mention that same word. I'm so happy you mentioned that. So you're saying, fundamentally, you need to have a small change in mindset that I should not be averse to learning any area or any subject just because I think it's not relevant to my domain. Rather, be a sponge, absorb all of that, and see you'll get a chance to apply, a concept in a different area in the context of your job and your industry. So that's amazing.
No, that's why I said that, I have a very contrarian view to hiring people.
Okay.
Who's been 10 years doing this job, so he's good at doing this job. But somebody who's not done this, but who brings with him those toolkit of problem solving, and who has had multi-industry experience, can actually do innovation a lot better, can do a new way of thinking a lot better than somebody who's been there, done that. Because what tends to happen is that you start becoming rigid about what's the only thing that works and what will not work. So fresh perspective often helps. And I mean, we've talked of all those cases of why hotel industry been put by the side by Airbnb. Yes. So one thought that the only way to run a hotel industry is to build a property, acquire, run, manage, maintain, right? And that one believe that is one way of running hospitality business. So, so I think if you have to truly be innovative, you need diverse perspectives, and hence, I would give full marks to somebody who said, "Oh, I've dabbled in this for 2 years and something for 3 years and something else for 3 years." It's a risky proposition, especially if the recruiter is a very unidimensional person who looks at only saying, "Boss, tell me you got 11 years of experience in telecom or not?" Then sorry. So it's a risky proposition, but I think truly enriching.
Absolutely. And it's so refreshing to hear this, because very often, the first gate or the first gateway to get into an organization is the HR team. And if you as a business leader have this thought process that, listen, we should welcome diversity, we should welcome different perspectives, we should welcome different skill sets, because time and again, studies have shown that organizations that have this mindset and approach to work with a diverse team actually produce remarkable results, rather than everyone being straight-jacketed and coming from the same background, No,
and I think it's the belief, and I think it's a misplaced belief that somebody who's been there, done that will hit the ground running on day one. And yes, he will hit the ground running day one, but he will bring about only incremental change.
Right.
So we are all living in the world of quick gratification. So everybody wants quick results. But some of the best things happen when you invest time and energy and bring about new perspectives, right? So this thing of quick gratification was, who's going to teach somebody? I'll have to bring him or her up to speed for the next 3 months. Or usse acha I'll bring somebody who's already been there. And that's what people often make mistakes.
Nice to hear. It's nice to hear. There's one topic I want to kind of touch upon, which is a hot topic these days, which is about how AI is impacting different industries. So I wanted to ask you in the context of telecom, and I know it's a very broad question, but address it any which way you will. How do you see AI impacting telecom? And do you see some jobs becoming redundant in the future?
So again, my take on that, telecom is no different than any other industry. Generative AI, regenerative AI will impact, will change the way we conduct business.
Right.
I like what one of my friends said the other day. He's a writer on tech, and he said, AI or generative AI will not take your job. Person using generative AI will.
Interesting. I've heard that too. Yeah.
So I'm a strong believer of that. And it's not just generative AI, but tools, right? And I'll give you a classic example. We were creating a new proposition in my job. And I was to review the proposition. And the proposal, I work for a B2B business. So it was a techno-commercial proposal to a big company. And we were bringing this new proposition for the first time. And I started reviewing the document with the team, which had prepared it. And I saw all the technical features and elements and all of that. And I said, this is fine. This 20-pager is okay. But where's the 2-page preamble? That exact summary, if you will, on
right.
What is this proposition? Why should you look at it? And what are the benefits of this proposition? And what do we bring to the table? Then you can go to the nuts and bolts of the feature sets and the feature benefit of each of the offerings we have. And the team said, "ठीक है, बस आपको 2 दिन में दिखा देते." Okay. I was sitting in that room and I said, "Give me 5 minutes." I put some inputs into one of the generative AI tools that I use. Okay. And obviously it had to be fed with as much data. I'd said that I'm working for this company. We want to offer this service to an enterprise customer. These are the things that we want to take, create an outline of a proposal. That generative AI platform came out with a 3-pager. Beautifully crafted proposal. And I threw it over the WhatsApp to my colleagues and said, here's the proposal. In 48 hours, you would do 60% quality job. Then this, you would not be able to write it so well as this is done. You probably need to spend 10 minutes more onto editing, adding some specifics of that.
Sure.
Done. So, and I said that, see, now if there are 2 people who work for me and one guy uses the tool and delivers the output not in 48 hours, but in 20 minutes. And he or she does that over and over again. Who do you think is going to grow? And who do you think is going to go by the wayside? Somebody who's not using the tools.
Absolutely.
So it is all pervasive. It can be used to impress your boss. It can be used to impress your customer. It can be used to one of my product managers the other day. We were evaluating a platform and the product manager just put a question again to a generative AI tool saying, I am so-and-so in this company and I'm looking at CPaaS, communication platform as a service. Vendors. What are the criteria I should use to evaluate the CPaaS vendors?
Okay.
And it took content about saying these are the 7-8 elements that you should consider while evaluating a CPaaS vendor. So it is helping you do your job better.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what it is. So it is not for a specific function. It is not for a specific level of profession. It is for everyone. And I firmly believe that generative AI is going to be yet another tool, like we have an Excel or a PowerPoint or a Word. But the product is as good as the user. And people who use it will be more productive, will deliver better results. And those who don't will get left behind. And yes, the premium that we paid for analytical skills, a lot of this analytical work would get done by generative AI. That would unleash. So how do you then use this to become a better profession. And that's what is going to be the next job, right? Saying that if you're given just for your mathematical skills, by the way, math problem can be solved. So what next? So what are you doing? So I believe people who can use the tools, supplement it with social skills. Social skills would be required. I mean, you have to deal with the customer. The customer wants the comfort that Amit will do anything to make sure that his interests are protected or his company's interests are protected. He wants that comfort that Amit is going to go all out. That is going to be difficult for a tool to kind of provide. So a combination of social skills, analytical skills should be considered. So somebody who's only focused on analytical skills, that job may kind of, and irrespective across industry, may get more and more done by AI tools.
All right. Thank you for, again, giving a comprehensive answer and, talking to us in so much in detail about how telecom service companies operate, the different departments that are there, the skills that you need. And you rightly highlighted how, we should only look at fungible skills, not be so concerned. What's more important is to have that learning mindset. And I think, I'm walking away from this discussion so much richer in terms of what we've discussed and so much, so much ground that we have covered. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
I really appreciate it.
No, always a pleasure. And I love interacting with young minds. This is the age of reverse mentoring,
right?
Because kids were 20 years younger to be, 30 years younger to be, have a lot more to provide. And I think this is one thing that I've been trying to tell everyone. Reverse mentoring should be a must in all corporates, because you're likely to learn more about what's happening in the world and the new tools from somebody who's 20 years younger than somebody who's 20 years older.
Right. That's a nice concept. It's a good note for us to bring this session to a close. And, I'm going to go back and, read up a little bit more about reverse mentoring and to see if other organizations are implementing it. Most certainly you are implementing it in your organization. So it's really nice to hear that.
Thank you. Thanks, Amit. Thanks as always for a good conversation. I shall see you next time.
All right. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this session. Prateek really shared some good insights on how a telecom service firm operates and the different departments and roles that are there in a setup like that. What's really important is to have an attitude for learning and being willing to try different tasks. I'm happy to say that we'll be coming back with another episode on the Zista Podcast with Prateek, where we'll be walking through his life, a day in his life as a telecom business head. Till the next time we meet, we'd say, stay curious.